Hello, my name is Gaurav. I am a student of English literature. This is my story. I want to tell you about my life story in London. I want to tell you about my fantastic teacher. You can read my story. You can learn English with me. It is a beautiful day of summers. I am traveling on a train. Two women are on the train with me. The women are sitting opposite me. They are speaking English. I don't understand much. I am studying English, but I am a beginner. I didn't know many words. I began speaking to the women. I said some words in basic English. The women understood what I wanted to say, and that made me happy. I said that I want to learn English. The women told me that they are from England. They are going home from a conference. Our conversation was 10 minutes long. The next station was my station. I said goodbye. The women gave me their address and phone number. They told me that I can visit them in England. Then we said goodbye. After this meeting, I worked on my English every day. I translate text and watch films in English. In 6 months, my English was improved. It was good now, but I want to learn more. I went to London. I wanted to study English from London. When I was in London, I joined the school. My first lesson was on Monday. I met my teacher and other student in the class. My teacher was young and fine lady. She was very nice and humble. We introduced ourselves and then produced with the lesson. Our teacher has a question for us. She wanted to know our general knowledge about the language. Our teacher told that she can teach through a very effective method to learn English. This method was very simple. Our teacher tell us that we would not have to study. We won't have a read textbook, but we would have to use English a lot in our daily lives. In turn out very effective for me. I did not like studying from the textbook because they confused me. Then we spoke about what is the important when we learn a new language. Our teacher told us language is a purpose and made for communication. We need language to communicate. Language help us to express i- idea ideas and thought. So when you learn a new language, the best method is to use the language to express our feeling and to communication with other people as communication well. And this is what we will do in our course. We will speak and make us of English language a lot many students try to remember new words. They also study grammar rules, and these students don't use English for speaking. They study about the language, but they don't use the language. There is a different, of course. You need to learn new words and grammar, but you don't have to study them. You need to practice them on daily basis. In this course, I want to show a very simple and effective method on how learn vocabulary and grammar I like. What our teacher says our lesson continues. We spoke about our hobbies and what we like to do in our free time. We spoke in pairs or with our teacher. I enjoy I enjoyed talking class. I am really happy this system of learning turned out to be very good and effective for me chapter. To how I learned vocabulary, I went to school on Tuesday. Again, one of the a student asked the question which was interesting for me. She asked, "What is the best way to learn new words?" Our teacher told there are many things you can do to learn new words. I will tell you what is statistically the most effective way for learning new words. It is the reading. When people read, they learn new words for their language. They learn twice as fast as people who don't read. It is good to read for act. List 30 minutes every day. I want to show you what you should do if you want to get the maximum profit from reading. First, it is very important that the book or text which you read in interesting for you. It is important that you enjoy reading the book. The book can be nice story or it can be fictional or non-fictional. It whatever you interest is for the book. Don't read the text which isn't interesting for you when you don't how many words you can get frustrated. You always want to enjoy everything you do while using the language. It is the effective to choose a text which is the interesting and also okay for your level. When you read the text and you see a word which you don't under understand, you should take a dictionary and find the word in the dictionary. Then you would look at its meaning. This will make better understanding of the text, and your knowledge for the text will be increased. You don't have to write the word anywhere. The word will automatically get locked in your brain, and you will always remember its meaning wherever you will see this word again. Every time when there is new words, or you will do the same. Reading also has another great advantage. When you reading, you learn new words, and you also learn how each word is connected to other word in the sentence. You can see how link the word correctly. This way of learning new words is very effective. Try it and you will see how fast you can learn new words. Then we continue with the lesson. We speak about situation in England and about the best job for a student. This is good for me because I want to get a job. I want to do something in my spare time after school. I asked another student if they know that from where I can find a job. They told me that I should go to a job center. The job center offer a lot of job, especially for a student. This is good for. I am happy that I know from where I can find a job. When my day at school was over, I went to the job center. I did not know what job I could do, so I asked the lady at the job center what is the best job for a student. The lady told me that they have some good jobs for a student. She told me that I can be a cleaner or waitress in cab. I told the lady that I have no experience with this job. She told me that my English good enough to work at the cafe. The training was not difficult and I can have more chances to speak English than being cleaner. She told me that I can start my job on Thursday. It is all good for me. I am happy that I am a job where I can practice English. When you want to learn new words effectively, read for 30 minutes every day on Wednesday. I want to school again. There is one student the class who is more quiet than the others is from South Korea. When our teacher asked if we had any question for her, this student from Korea said that he has a question. He said that he has a big problem with pronunciation. He knew that his pronunciation is not very good, but he did not know how to improve it. He does not speak much because he does not have other to listen to his bad pronunciation. He said that he read and watch films in English a lot. He understand very well, but he also want to improve speaking. He asked if there is something he could do to be better at pronunciation. When my teacher heard this, she said, "Okay, I will tell you something about pronunciation and how to practice It will also teach you technique which can help all of you to become better at pronunciation. First, we have to look at why a student have problem with pronunciation. When we speak, we have to move our mouth. We have to use muscle in our mouth. We all do that. The problem is that when you speak in English, sometimes times you use your muscles the same way you would use them in your native language. Then your pronunciation is different from the pronunciation of native speaker. This is happened to many. A student to learn English, almost everybody has a little different pronunciation than they should have in fact. It is not a big problem because usually people understand what you want to say even if your pronunciation is not perfect. However, you can work on your pronunciation and make it better by a great technique which can help you a lot. The name of this technique is shadowing. In technique is very simple. When you do shadowing, you simply copy the sound which you hear when children learn their first language. They learn it by copying. They copy after their parents again and again, and one day their pronunciation becomes perfect. You can learn English pronunciation the same way. This is what you can do. You take some video or audio recording which is not very fast and which you can understand very well. You listen and you copy what you hear. When you hear it, that is all. Then our teacher went to youtube.com and see search for shadowing technique. She found video where the shadowing technique was very well demonstrated. We watched the video, then we all tried to do shadowing for about 3 minutes. Then our teacher told us told us shadowing in also good when you are preparing for presentation in English and you want to have good pronunciation before the presentation. You can go to some place where you are alone and you can do shadowing for about 10 minutes. You will see how much it will help you to have better pronunciation during the presentation. This was very interesting. For me, I haven't heard about this technique before. When this lesson finished, I went to the school reception. I asked the lady if there are any sport activities at school. I would like to do some sport in England. The lady at the reception says, yes, we have a table tennis team and a football team. The football team has training today at 5. I was very happy because a sport is very important in my life. Went to the training of the football team. I met a lot of players from different countries. The players are from Brazil, Japan, Russia, Spain, Argentina, and Italy. I like the training. I was very happy that my time. In English, I started when I have a great teacher. I also have some new friends from my football team. Also tomorrow, I am starting my job as well. When you want to have a good pronunciation, repeat after native speaker on Thursday. I went to school again. We had new student in our class. Her name is Elizabeth, and she is from Italy. At the beginning of the lesson, my teacher asked Elizabeth some question. My teacher knows Elizabeth because Elizabeth visit her class on 1 year ago. It was a class for beginners and it was only 2 weeks during summer holiday when Elizabeth speaks. She speaks beautifully and pronunciation is very good and she is fluent. My teacher was very happy and she told Elizabeth, your school in Italy must be very good. Elizabeth says, I don't go to any school. I learn English at home. I use techniques that I learn from you. I do lot of reading, studying, and thinking aloud. I try to think more in English. Then in Italian, this is how I work on my English. The 2 weeks which I spent last summer at your class helped me a lot. You showed me the way I know how to work my English every day. This is why I want to join your class again because 1 year ago I was beginner and now I can speak English. I want to learn from you. Can my teacher was very happy when she heard these words. She appreciated Elizabeth for the hard work. It is all very interesting for me. I already know about reading. I also know the shadowing technique, but Elizabeth also speak about thinking aloud. I don't know what it is, so I asked our teacher what is thinking aloud. Our teacher replied, it is a very effective technique. You have to have a strong motivational to learn English if you want to have benefit from this technique. It is also good to know that for some people this is technique is little crazy, but when you start to think aloud, your English can be better very fast. I said I have a strong motivation. I don't care if the technique is crazy. If it helps, I want to learn it. Can you teach you this? technique, okay, it is actually very simple. You think in your native language all day every time, it is normal. Now you can start to think in English, and when you start to think in English, then you can think aloud. You simply say aloud what you think. It is all I say. It is very simple. Why is very effective? Our teacher says maybe you can ask Elizabeth. She uses this technique. Maybe she can tell you more about this technique than our teacher asked her. Elizabeth, if it is okay for her to speak about experience with thinking aloud, it is not a problem for Elizabeth. She said, when I start with this technique, it wasn't easy. I start with very simple sentence. For example, I can speak English. It is good that I can speak English. I want to be better. I need to practice every day. I don't know many words, but I can use this word. L can say my ideas with these words. I can do this. This is great. The sentence where really simple word. At dinner there was one problem. My thinking in Italian was long and completed. I was not able to say in English exactly, but I said in Italian. I need to find a simpler form for English to think in simple English was the hardest part, but after some times it was normal for me to think in English. Then sometimes interesting happened. I met a man from Australia. He was on holiday in Italy. I was still a beginner, but we started to speak English. I could see that I was able to speak with him without having problem. My sentences were simple and short, but I was able to speak. I didn't translate in my head from Italian to English. After the meeting with the man from Australia, I started to use thinking aloud more. This technique helped me a lot with my speaking. I still use this. Very is really a very effective technique. Our teacher Hank Elizabeth for her experience with thinking aloud. I wanted to use this technique because also wanted to get better at speaking when you want to speak English. Fluently think aloud advice when you want to learn English. Read, listen, thinking, and speak. Do. It's effective activity for 30 minutes every day. Part 2. Hello, I hope you are feeling well. First, I want to remind you that there is the part 1 to this story. If you have not watched it yet, visit my channel and watch it so you can understand the whole story where my name is Gaurav. I am a student of English. This is my story. I want to tell you about my life in London. I want to tell you about my fantastic teacher. You can read my story. You can learn English with me. Chapter how I learn grammar after school. I go to the cafe where my job training start. I don't know what to expect. I have no experience. I am not sure if I can do this job. When I came to the cafe, I am very surprised. It is the modern cafe which is sells of tea and also chocolate cakes and sandwich. And my boss is only 20 years old. She started to work at the cafe more 2 years ago. She has lot of experience and she knows everything perfectly. She shows me how to prepare coffee, how to wash the dish, and how deal with customer. It is all new for me. I remember only about 20% of what tells me, but then she lets me do the work and she corrects me when I make a mistake. She is very friendly and I learned fast after the first day at work. I am very tired, but I am happy that I have a job the next day in Friday and I go to school. Again, one student asked an interesting question sometimes when I speak. I am not sure. I speak correctly. I am not sure. I use correctly grammar. Can you help me? What to do if I want to learn grammar? Our teacher says, thank you for your question. There are two groups of students. Some students English because they want to be able to speak. Some students study English because they want to pass an exam for each group. The situation is different. First, I will speak about the student who need English for speaking. If this is you, you don't have to study grammar a when when you learn your native language. You also learn it without studying grammar. You can learn English grammar naturally by using the language. The best way to learn grammar naturally is by reading. A lot of books are written in good grammar. When you read, you will learn grammar in the context of the whole sentence. I also recommend shading. When you do shading, you practice the correct grammar. You do it naturally. You don't have to try to remember anything. You only copy sentence with correct grammar. If you need English for speaking but also want to study grammar, you can visit grammar in So is important for different level of English you can find the most important grammar rules for speaking there is there the second group of students are those who study English for passing an exam. If you are one of these students, I recommend it. Studying especially for this exam, it can take the version of this exam from the past year if it is the possible and train with them the second group of a student are those who study English for passing an exam. If you are one of these students, I recommended studying especially for this exam. It can take the version of this exam from the past year if it is possible and train with them. Of course, your exam will be little different, but the structure is usually the some or very similar from my point of view. Version of the exam from the past year are good training materials. Then I recommended going to the exam only when your result in the training materials are such that you can pass the exam successfully. I answer it. Question, yes, thank you. Say the student, this is good news. I don't like studying. Grammar, I learn English because I want to able to speak. I don't need to pass any exam. I am happy that I don't have to study grammar much. I like reading and I am happy that I can learn grammar by reading books after the lesson. I go the website grammar in level.com. It is really a nice website. There are grammar rules with example for each level. They have three levels. These levels are the 1000, 2000 and 3000 words in the afternoon. I put my go to my work. It is my second day and I can already do a lot of things by myself, but my boss helps my when I need it. I see that my work is not very difficult. Also, I can practice English. When I speak to our customers, moral, when you want to, I want to have good grammar, read a lot chapter. How test my English? It is the Monday again, and I go to my school. Our teacher asks us what we did the weekend. I say that I was at work on Saturday. I say that I can already do my work well. I say that I am happy when I can speak to our customer. When I speak, one of girls in the class asked me, "What happened to your voice? You sound very different from what what we heard last week. Your pronunciation is very good." I am smiling and I says thank you. I is sweating on Saturday evening after my work the whole Sunday. I tried to speak like a native speaker. I know that it is not perfect, but I also see a big change in my pronunciation. Our character asked if other students try to practice studying. Three students say yes. One of them is the student from South Korea. She also likes this technique. One student says that she tried the technique, but her mouth was pain after 5 minutes of studying, and she stopped. She also says that she wasn't always able to repeat everything because the recording was very fast. Our technique says thank you for the trying out this technique. If you do serving for first time and your mouth is pain after 5 minutes, you do it correctly. You need to train your muscles to this is new way of a speak. It is like going to the gym for the first time. Your muscles can hurt if they are not trained. If the muscles in our mouth hurt, you can take a break after 5 minutes of studying, and you can continue a bit later with every 5 minutes of practice your pronunciation. This better studying has also other advantage. You practice the correct pronunciation in English. You also practice other things, for example, into intonation, rhythm, and connecting words in the whole sentence. I know that at the beginning, the recording can sometimes be very fast. For you, if this is happiness, you can repeat only the first or the last word in the sentence. With practice, you will be able to repeat more. I says that it is true on Saturday. When I start with studying, it was difficult for me, but one Sunday evening, it was easy to repeat what I heard. Then I had question for our teacher. I tell her that I look at grammar in its com. The website is interesting, but I don't know what level is for me because I don't know how many words I know. Our teacher asked other students if they know how many words they know in English. It is interesting to see that nobody knows. We know that we are in intermediate student, but we don't know how many words we know. Our teacher said there is a website for people who study foreign language. You can do a test there. You can know how many words you know. The test has only two steps and it is really simple. The name of the website is test language common. You can do the test every month and you can see how much you improve during that month. If you want to, you can now take your smartphone and go to that website and do the test. I am really interested in knowing how many words, how do I do the test immediately I find out that I know 21,000 words in English. Most of the students know between 2000 and 2002 words only. Monica and the boy from South Korea knows 251 words. Our teacher says so. You can see that when you go to grammar and level.com, you should already know grammar from level 2. You can start using grammar from level 3 because level 3 is the for student who know between 2000 and 3000 words. Moral test your progress every day. Month chapter 3, how I handle mistakes. On Tuesday I go to school again. One student asked our teacher an interesting question. She says, I want to practice speaking with people around me, but I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want to look stupid. I can you help me? Our teacher says making mistake is a very interesting topic. There are a lot of opinions on this topic. I want to show you what I believe the best to do. I have a lot of experience with this is because I also learn new language. For example, now I am learning Spanish. When I speak Spanish, I don't care if I make mistakes or not. The reason why don't care about mistake is simple. When I learn my native language, I didn't care about making mistakes. Mistakes weren't important for me. My main goal when I use any language is to say my idea. It is all I know that. When I read a lot of speech and do studying, my Spanish will be better and better. I know that this is kind of very simple, but it is my opinion. This is what I learned after many years of technique and learning language. It works very well for me and many of my students. When I speak, I only concentrate on speaking at the moment. I know 100 had 100 words in Spanish. It is the level of a 2-year-old child. 2-year-old children make a lot of mistakes when they speak, but they don't care about their mistakes. They continue using their native language, and when three are they are 3 years old, they make very few mistakes, and when they are 4 year old, they usually speak very well. You can do the same now. Most of you know about 2000 words, so it is the absolutely okay to make mistake time to time and continue using English. There will be favor and favor mistakes in your speaking. It is not possible to go to high level if you don't make mistake. When you practice English, it is okay not to be perfect. Perfection comes with practice. All people who started to learn English started from the beginning, from the same level, from level zero. Learning language is like learning to play a musical instrument. It needs to be trained. When you start your training, it is not perfect at the beginning and you make mistake. It is normal. Take it as a necessary part of your learning process. You don't go through. This is the period of making mistakes. You can't get to higher level when you continue to use English. The mistakes can step by step go away. If you want to make a fewer mistake, do a lot of reading and studying. When you read, you can read aloud. It can also help you make favor mistakes and real conversion care only about exchanging ideas. Don't care about mistakes. When you speak, you practice changing your ideas to words. You don't learn grammar or words. You have other activities for it. Don't worry. Everybody who learn a foreign language makes mistakes sometimes. Famous people, bosses of big companies or politicians make mistake too. When you listen to these people on TV, you see that they don't care about mistake. They care about what is important, and it is saying there ideas. You can do the same. Does it make sense? The girl says yes, thank you. Moral: if you don't want to make mistake, do a lot of reading and studying. Advice to enhance your language skill in English. Dedicated 39 minutes each day to reading, listening, and speaking. Immerse yourself in diverse materials to boost comprehension and fluency effectively. Thanks. I am Gaurav.